Business owners, we have recently just passed April 15th. I think I heard a collective sigh of relief across the country from business owners just like you that we're glad that taxes is out of the way. Now you can start focusing on things you actually enjoy, which is serving your customers and bringing value to the marketplace. If that's you, if you feel like you're in this perpetual cycle of hate taxes, really enjoy business, hate taxes, really enjoy business, hate taxes, really enjoy business, this video is for you, because I'm going to give you a framework and a system to follow so that you can start implementing actionable tax saving strategies and make it so you don't hate taxes, but you starting to love them because you start understanding them and you start understanding I can save a lot of taxes if I know what I'm doing. So here are the steps for you to implement that system. Number one, stop viewing taxes as a one-time a year thing. As our accountant in-house likes to use this analogy, as a dragon that comes out of its lair every April 15th and you slay the dragon, it goes back into its cave and you're like, all right, next April 15th, we're going to beef up and prepare to handle that thing. But you forget about it the rest of the year and you don't do anything else about it. And then next April 15th, you go and slay that dragon again. It's repetitive. It's that cycle. You're stuck in that cycle. You can't view that as a one-time a year, one-time a quarter thing that you think about. And you might be wondering, well, Justin, you're asking me to think about taxes all year? I don't want to do that. I hate taxes. Why would I do that? The answer is if you do it right and utilize the system I'm about to give you, it turns from something you hate into something that really brings you a lot of satisfaction because you're utilizing the law to help you keep more of your money. And when you keep more of your money, you can get those dollars into assets, which will help you create financial independence faster, which will give you the ability and permission to leave a generational impact bigger than you ever thought possible. So yes, focusing on taxes can be super exciting. So the second thing you need to do, so the first thing you need to do is stop thinking of taxes as a one-time a year thing. The second thing you need to do is you need to start your plan today. It should have been done in January, but if you're listening to this in April, it should be done today. If you're listening to this in September, that's the day you do it. You start your plan whenever you get the vibe and the bug to start tax planning. You create the plan. What is our tax bill going to be? Because you can project out the way taxes happen is not a mystery. You can know if I make X revenue and I pay myself this, my tax bill is going to be X. It's an equation. So if you know that, you can say, well, we're going to anticipate growth this year, so my tax bill will probably be a little higher, or we're going to stay pretty steady, so it's going to be consistent with what it was last year, or it's going to go down, so it might drop a little bit. Once you have that information, now you start determining what things can I start doing, what deductions can I start creating in my business that will help me save taxes. You put together a plan. How many things are you going to do a month? What things are you going to do? You can start looking at, where do I want to allocate my dollars? How many dollars do I have to save to execute this strategy in September that will save me X percentage of taxes at the end of the year? Because if you get to September and you haven't saved the dollars to execute that strategy, you're out of luck and now you can't save the taxes. So you have to put together the plan. Life is fluid, so you check on that plan at least quarterly. Maybe it's a couple times, maybe a little bit more than that, but at least quarterly. And now you're monitoring it. How are we doing? Are we executing things? Or do we have to save a little bit more money? Do we have to save a little bit less money? Are we on track? Are we way above and beyond? Do we have to make massive changes? All of these things are a part of the planning. But the reason you're doing it is because you know that it's going to save you a substantial amount of money. Like some people think, well, saving taxes, it's 10 grand a year, but we routinely see people that we meet with saving $50, $100, $150,000 plus, six figures deep and six figures in taxes just by implementing the proactive planning framework. That's it. You just start proactively planning and build out the whole year of what you need to do to save taxes, and you're going to save taxes. The third thing you need to do is you need to start adding and expanding your team. Your accountant is an essential member of your team. But they cannot be the only member of your team because their plan is not going to incorporate the things that are all available to you. You have to start bringing in other members of your team. Here's who you should have. You should have a tax strategist. That tax strategist is going to provide, they're going to help you organize and bring all the things to the table. And you and your accountant and tax strategist are going to have a conversation around, this seems good. That seems applicable to me. How can we implement it? How many dollars have to be allocated to it? Do we have to allocate any dollars to it? What does that look like? This one over here, I don't think that's a good fit for us, so we're going to leave that on the sideline for now, but it might be a good fit when we sell our practice or sell our business in 10 years. So the tax strategist accumulates all the ideas, and then it's a discussion on what's best for you. You're probably going to need tax attorneys. Tax attorneys are usually really powerful in the fact that they have really dialed in specific strategies that can be brought into the situation by the tax strategist. You're going to need tax specialists. A tax specialist is people like research and development tax credit experts. Many businesses qualify for that, but leave it on the table because they don't have that person on their team. It could be a cost segregation tax credit specialist where they only do cost seg. And so you bring that person into your team. It could be a whimper credit specialist. It could be a empowerment zone credit specialist. There's so many specific things where it's only done by one firm and that's all they do, but you need them to be a member of a team if it's applicable to you, but you don't know if it's applicable to you until you actually bring it to the table. This is why you need the tax strategist to join your team. You're also going to need a registered investment advisor. A registered investment advisor is something that people oftentimes say, why would I need that? Why do I need an investment person on my tax team? The answer to that is when you get to certain levels, specifically accredited investor, you have access to more investment opportunities. Many times those investment opportunities also come with tax benefits, meaning if you invest into that, you will save taxes simultaneously. So you're killing two birds with one stone. You're going to have some wealth creation, potentially cash flow or capital appreciation, and you're going to save taxes simultaneously. But if you don't have the registered investment advisor, you're never going to have those opportunities, and you're going to pay those tax dollars to the IRS instead of keeping them instead. So you have to build out your team. They become a part of the plan. So that's what you're planning. Your team is who do we, at the beginning of the year, we take a step back. We build the plan. We're executing the plan. What team members do I need to access that tax strategy? How many dollars do I need to access that tax strategy? I save those dollars, I execute it in July. I save those dollars, I execute it in November. But because you have the team, you're able to do that. If you didn't have the team, you couldn't execute those because you wouldn't have access to that opportunity. That's how you save taxes. You proactively plan and you expand your team. You meet regularly, you check on your progress. Do you have to do things differently? Do you pull back, expand, add more members? And you just save taxes, and it turns into a really exciting thing because you're saving taxes throughout the year. All those dollars that were going to the IRS now stay in your pocket. You have a system that drives those dollars into assets, and you create financial independence a lot faster. That's why this is so exciting, and that's why you need to care about it as a successful business owner, because you have the ability to impact the world so greatly. You have skills of reaching masses of people. You have skills of bringing value, of organization. So if you can take those skills and apply them to other aspects, you can go so much bigger than you ever thought possible. So if you're in the cycle of thinking that tax is the one-year thing and you're disappointed in how much you pay in taxes every year, implement this framework. Stop thinking as a one-time event a year. Stop thinking as a one-time event a year. Be proactive with your accountant, put together a plan, and utilize a team, and don't leave it just to your accountant. If you do those things, you will save taxes year after year, over and over again. And all of those dollars that were going to the IRS get to stay with you and your family, and the impact you get to leave in this world just expands and expands and expands. I'm Justin Maxwell, and I hope that tax planning changes for you from terrible to wonderful.